Hi, it's Stephanie. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching my channel. I'm super excited about my fabric boxes. I just love these. Love these. I could just keep making them. So basically, I have this little shelf that hubby bought for me to fit a space that I wanted to fit right over here. And it's perfect, right? It just fits. And it is cute and functional, because now I have a place to store stuff and it's cute at the same time. And I love fabric, so why wouldn't I cover it with fabric? When he brought home that shelf, I had ideas of different things that I was going to do with it, and suddenly it hit me, I would really like to just have a box that fills the whole space. And so I knew that I would have, I did actually shop online to try and find boxes, and it's like I needed a specific size. So this is custom made to fit that space. And this procedure that I'm going to show you will work for any space that you want to fit. You're going to make your own custom box to fit the space you want. And it was pretty easy. I did have to do a lot of figuring out, but I did it for you, so you don't have to figure it out now. I made these boxes out of cardboard boxes that you get like deliveries in, and fabric that you can get at Joann's or out of your stash. I use these little rope handles because I wanted my box to fill the whole space. So I needed some kind of handle, and I love these little rope. A couple of things I would say is keep notes. Because you're making these custom, you want to remember what you did. And that way, if you have like a little notebook or a project notebook, that'd be great, because then you can kind of see your tweaks. If you fix things, if something goes wrong, you can fix it, and next time it'll be better. Every time I made this box, it got better. Before I take you through my whole process, I just want you to know I'm not a professional craft teacher, and this is not a professional craft channel. I'm just a person in my sewing room making stuff and sharing it with you. So I'm not perfect, and maybe you've got another idea on how to do things. I'm like, yay, do that. I just wanted to say, if you do choose to follow my channel or subscribe, things you'll see is a lot of sewing, a lot of projects, a lot of decorations. I definitely glammed up my whole camper, which I'm so in love with and happy with, and there's so many cool projects with that. In fact, this might end up in my camper too. But I'd love to have you join the channel and follow. Just hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment. Come find me on Facebook. I'm on there every day, and I love to see what you're up to. I'm in some fun groups, and I just love the interaction and learning from other people. And a lot of my ideas come from just seeing what other people are doing. So I just love that. So please subscribe, hit a thumbs up, and leave me a comment, and let's get going. Let's make these fabric boxes. This is my shelf that I want to make my custom fabric boxes fit. So I'm going to measure and see what I've got here. So I'm measuring, this is 7.5, and this is 7.5, and then deep it's 6. So basically I need to make my box fit whatever I want it to be. If I wanted it to come to here, I would measure to there. If I wanted it to be small inside of this space, I want my box to fill the whole thing, and then I'm going to put a handle on it, so it'd be like a drawer. So I want it to fill the whole thing. But if I make it too close to this 7.5, it won't even go in there. So I'm going to just take a tiny bit off the 7.5 and measure out my cardboard to fit. And then basically what I would say, since you're customizing this size, is you want to cut your cardboard to the size you think it should be, and then just set it in there. Because, you know, you probably have lots of cardboard. You can do it over and over. And then once you get your measurement just right, write it in your notebook, and then you can cut the whole box. So it's just try it, you know, do a little trial and error. So let me show you my first box and how it fits. So I came up with this size, and it's just, as I said, just a little smaller than my actual hole, and it fits perfect. And before I did the whole box, I just did this one piece, and I sort of held it in there. And actually it's nice because it's not sticking out the back either. It's just fitting this square. So I'm happy with this size, and I've written it all in my notebook. So write your sizes in your notebook, and then I'm going to cover this with fabric, and it's going to be awesome. So let's cut some cardboard. Basic supplies, you're going to need some cardboard and some packing tape, an X-Acto knife, some way to measure and cut your cardboard, and then of course you want a notebook and a pen to write down. Since it's custom, you want to do some tweaking, so you want to write down things. So have a notebook and pencil handy. As far as the fabric side, you're going to need your fabric based on your measurements, and you know, needle, then thread and sewing machine, etc. Scissors to cut it, a tape measure to measure your box. Of course, yardstick comes in so handy. If you decide to use the same rope, you'll need some kind of handle if you decide to do what I did with the glue, and of course the tape for that. I used a stapler to attach my fabric to the box, and two handy things. It's my pliers and my little tiny screwdriver for that. I marked everything with a pencil. I also like to use fabric markers, and my cutting board, iron, all of that. That's pretty much the supplies I used for this project. So where did I get my cardboard? It was boxes, things that have come to me, lots of different ones, and they're not all the same, but this last one was just a box, something I got from Amazon. And so what I did is I cut off like all the flaps, and I checked to see if any of the flaps fit my measurements. They didn't, so I just used the big piece, and then I cut strips in the sizes that would fit my little pieces. And not all my pieces are the same size, but this is one box. So that one's the bottom. This is one of the sides, one of the wide sides, kind of like a little house of cards. And then this one is one of the small sides. And this one is another big side. And then this one is another small side. So basically, you just take these pieces and you take them together. So once I cut them, and I used an X-Acto knife, and I had a metal ruler, and I just loved that because I could really get close and, you know, be careful. It's an X-Acto knife, so you don't want to cut yourself, but I cut down the strips, and I just measured and cut until I had my boxes. So I'm going to take this box together and just show you how simple it is. So this is my box, this is my bottom. I'm going to do them all together, and then I'll put my bottom on last. I've done a bunch of these already, as you can see behind me, and that's just what worked out best for me. Okay, so there's a piece. I'm just going to take it and attach it halfway on this piece that's going to go to this piece. And I'm going to do my corner because I tried doing them all flat, and then I couldn't bend them very well. So this is just this kind of the angle I want my box to be. All right, let's get another piece. Right about there. All right, that's gonna go on this one, and you know, some of my boxes were a little wonky, and I just kind of finagled them, and they came out fine. So don't, if you're a perfectionist, you might have trouble watching this video, because I'm not. I just want to get it done. Okay, here we go. Last one. Gonna go right about there. Okay. And then I'm gonna do the whole thing together. One more piece. Right there, halfway. And then I'm gonna bring that one over. Okay. Starting to look like a box, isn't it? Now, because I'm not a perfectionist, I mean, I tried to cut them perfect, but when they weren't, I didn't worry about it too much. So I just advise you not to worry about it. You can kind of finagle them together. Is finagle a word we still use? I do, but my kids accuse me of using some really weird words like satchel. They get a kick out of that one. So if you know the word satchel, we could be friends. All right, here we go. Oh, we're getting there. Okay, looking like a box. There it is. See, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And when I put the fabric on top, it's just going to be perfect. It's going to be fine. I should not use the word perfect. Remove that word. So next up is I'm going to show you how to cover this with fabric. Before I do, I want to tell you that I watched a bunch of videos trying to figure out how to cover a box with fabric, and pretty much all of them included glue. And I'm just going to have a moment that I want to explain to you that I have a problem with glue. I want to glue things together, but whenever I get glue, it goes everywhere. I just am not good with glue. I've bought glue guns. I'm going to use a little bit of glue on my handle, and that's it. The rest is just going to be sewed and stapled. So I just want you to know that if you are good with glue and you're happy with glue, you can use glue. I cannot be trusted with glue. I turn into like a 2-year-old whenever glue was around. So I am going to sew my fabric together, and then I'm going to staple it to this box. So let's get some fabric and let me show you how I did that. This is the fabric that I'm going to use on this box, and it's fabric I had some left over when I made my ironing board cover, which you can watch that video on my channel. Sometimes I buy extra fabric just because I know when I go back it's going to be gone, and it is gone. I can't find this in my Joann's right now. So if you figure out your measurement, then you can just buy exactly what you need. I just don't roll that way. I always seem to buy more than I would ever need, like in my lifetime. Just saying. That's how I joined the Have Too Much Fabric in My Stash Club. And I'm going to need 2 different pieces, one for the outside and one for the inside, and I'm going to use the same fabric for both outside and inside. However, you could coordinate and do a different color on the inside and the outside and be snazzy. I'm just made it easy on myself, so it's the same in and out. The outside is bigger and the inside is smaller because, number one, it's going outside, so it's just a little tiny fraction bigger anyway, but I also folded it over and tucked it in, so it needed to be a few inches bigger on the outside to tuck in, okay? So we're going to do all the way around this way, and we're going to do all the way around this way, and that's going to be the size of our fabric. Okay, taking this, mine comes to 20.5, and then this way it comes to 21.5. Once you measured, write it in your notebook. So I added 3 inches to my inside piece, which is 20 by 22. So I'm going to add 3 inches and make my outside piece bigger so I have more to work with and I can fold it and turn it under. So write that down. So now I'm going to cut my fabric to the large size because this is folded. So there's 2 pieces here, right? So I'm just going to cut a piece 25, and then I'm going to cut my 2 pieces out of that. One of my favorite things I own is my yardstick. Do you have a yardstick? This came from Lowe's, and they give stuff like this away free sometimes. This fabric is super busy. I need to mark it with something that I'm going to be able to see. I'm going to pick red. So this is just a red pencil, probably for my grandkids. And now I'm going to make a line straight down. Am I still in the camera? Yes. All right. Okay, there's my line. Now let's cut. Okay, I'm going to cut my fabric. Now there's 2 different edges here. One has a big piece of white and one does not. Now I probably won't use this whole piece, so I'm going to start with the piece that does not have the little white edge. All right, here we go. Yes, 23, so I'm going to mark this as 23. 23, and I'm going to make an arrow that is that one. And then I'm going to look at this one, 25, so I'm going to write 25 inches and an arrow going this way. And then I'm going to write a note over here. Since this isn't showing, it's a pencil. I'm going to write the word outside. So now I have my 2 pieces, and I'm looking at them, and they're a little bit wrinkledy. So I am going to iron them. Yes, I'm using my little ironing table. Now this is cool because I could just bring it right over here and iron right where I'm at. Which I'm going to do. This is so handy. Isn't it funny that I'm ironing the same fabric that this is made of? It's kind of, whoa, crazy. All right, now let's figure out where to sew. Pull these sides up. Nope. There we go. There we go. So now I found my center. So this box is sitting in the center. Now I'm going to just trace it. I don't really need to trace the whole thing. I just need lines. Okay. Can you see there's a little square in the center? See that? Is I want to trace these lines with my yardstick. Okay, so I used my ruler and I made a grid. Time to sew. Let's take this corner and we're just going to take, you see how this square right here, we're just going to take it and pinch it and we're going to lay it like this. The reason being, I want you to know, I've made a bunch of these already, is I want to put this in my sewing machine this way. I don't want all that on the wrong side. So let me show you how we're going to do that. So it's basically going to line up right there, and I'm going to start with my first pin by poking my pen straight down on this line and peeking on the other side. Yep, it went through to the other side's line because this can get a little tiny bit wonky. Now I'm going to go about halfway. Yeah, right on the line. Just double checking. All right, last one. This one's usually the wonky one. Nope. Perfect. Okay. Here's the trick for sewing. These are pinned. There's no excess here. That's how my sewing machine works. Now I'm going to flip it over so that, again, it's going to be easy to sew. These are the little tricks that you don't have to go through that I did. I had to go through that just so I could tell you. Now it's going to feel wonky right now. That's okay. It's a box. So let me get this straightened right here and let's double check. Poking my pen straight down the line to see if it matches the line on the other side. I want the line on the other side to match. Go about halfway, right on it. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes I have to finagle it. There's that word again. Right on the line. Perfect. Now, before I pin this side, I'm going to sew this side. I'm not going to show you sewing because you know how sewing works. Let me sew it. I'll be right back. That was easy. Okay, so I had these two done. I'm just going to trim the threads. Now let's do the other side. I'm just going to turn it. And I'm going to flip it because I want this to go in my sewing machine this way. No excess in here. If I had excess in here, I'll have excess in my sewing machine. I'm saying that as though you don't know, but you probably do know. All right, let's check this line straight down. Match, pin. Straight down, match, pin. Straight down, take a peek. Ooh, that one's off. So I'm just going to move it over just a little. There we go. I did it. That's why it's worth double checking. Flip it over. Here we go with the other side. All right, time to sew. Okay, now I am going to, see these flaps? I need to cut these off. So let's do that. I'm just gonna probably do like a 1/2 inch. It's gonna be on the inside, not gonna show. Let's try it. Let's just set that in there. See how it fits. Now it's on the inside and I'm gonna staple it with my stapler. And one of the things I like to do is kind of iron my seams just so it's easy. And I tried opening them and it wasn't as easy as just going to one side. So that's my tip for you. I'm gonna iron these to one side. Okay, it looks really good in there. So what I wanna do is get these corners straightened out and I'm gonna staple. I just use a regular stapler and I'm just gonna staple it right in the corner. And then I'm gonna do this side, same thing. Make sure it's down at the bottom. So I ended up with a little extra up here. I don't want that in my way when I'm folding, so I'm just going to take some little scissors and trim it up and get it off of there. And because my boxes are not always perfect, I often have to do this step just to, sometimes just a little, sometimes a little more. Inside is done. Now let's do the outside. Same process. We are going to take the same box and we're going to find, it's a little bit different this time because we need those 3 extra inches for folding over. So we should have extra. So find your center. All right, there we go. So once you find your center, you want to draw your little red square and then you want to draw your lines. I'm not going to do that on the video. I already did it. Repeat, and I will come right back. Ta-da! Moment of truth. You want to turn this right side out. Get your corners and box upside down. Start on one side, grab the other, and there we go. Wait. So now we just want to finish it off. I again am using staples, and again, you are welcome to use glue. If you want to use staples, you just turn it, and we're going to do the center. There's one. Fold it, turn it. Look. There's 2. Well, you don't have to count. Okay, let's staple that one. Okay, and let's do this one. Okay, so I've done the center all the way around. Now I'm going to do the corners. Now this box is going wide side out, so I'm going to do the wide sides and then the insides last. So I'm still turning, and I'm going to get that corner in there. Go as far as I can get. Now let me do it so you can see it. You want to fold that under, and you want to press into that corner, and then you want to get it as far into that corner as you can. There we go. To the other wide side, folding that little piece under, getting it as close to the corner as I can with my stapler, and as close to the edge as I can and still be on it. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to just do these last little 2 pieces on each side, and this is where you kind of just want to fiddle with it a little bit, get it just right, turning it under, and I'm just going to fiddle with it, get right in that corner. Nice. Okay, home stretch. This box is almost done. Okay. Now, because I'm crazy and I used staples, let me show you a little trick so that they won't catch on the outside. See, I can feel them right there. Ow, that could be bad. I figured out a way to get rid of that. These are my teeny tiny little pliers for like jewelry making. And I keep them in my sewing drawer because they're super handy. So all I did to get these staples to not show, see there's nothing there. Find the ones that's sticking out. This one's sticking out. So I'm just gonna take my staple and I'm gonna just yank on the fabric a tiny bit. There, see I got it loose? And then I'm just gonna press it where I know that staple is and push. Now, it's gone, still nothing. Okay, nothing there. I feel that one. Let me just get that fabric. Okay, I pulled it loose from the staple. Now I'm just gonna find that staple and press it. Okay, that one's done. Nothing there, nothing there. I don't always feel it. It's sticking out on this one. Press it down, press it down. Oh, there's one. Just gonna grab the fabric, lift it up a little, press it down. No problem. Now, if you don't like that, you could put a ribbon like all the way around just to cover it up. You could glue a ribbon on to cover up your staples, or you could have used glue to hold the whole thing together. That is my fabric covered box. Now remember, mine doesn't fit in there. I mean, I can't get it out. because it's so close to the sides. So I put a little handle. Let me show you how I did that. Now you could do any kind of handle you want. I just thought this white rope was super cute. And so what I did is, I noticed when I bought it, the end had a piece of tape. So when I measured out all of mine to be the same size, I just got to that part, I made a little mark, and then I wrapped some tape around it and cut right in the middle of the tape. And that way it won't unravel on you. So this piece is the same size as this piece. I made them about 2 inches in on both sides and real close to the top, so that was easy. So I'm just gonna get my little ruler and I'm gonna show myself where 2 is. Back here. 2 is right there, a little dot. 2 is right there, a little dot. Now I know where I want to glue this handle. And I can glue this much. This is just a tiny little dot, so I probably won't mess it up. I have my little clippies to hold it while it dries, and let's just do a dab. I just did a dab of Fabric Fusion Permanent Fabric Adhesive. So I'm going to put that right on my little red dot, and I'm going to put my clippy there. Okay, so far. And then I'm just wrapping it around, and it's going to go right on the other red dot right there. So there's a piece of glue. And lay it right there and put this other clippy. See, I've already messed it up. Right there. Now I'm just going to let that dry, and then it's going to look just like that one. So let's see how it looks. It's going to look great. Aren't they cute? Isn't that easy? I mean, it really is easy. It doesn't take very long, and it's simple. Anybody could do this. And I am so going to make more of these to fit other spaces, other places. Anytime I need a cute box, I'm going to make one of these. I'm saving this project as a definite staple because I love fabric and I love boxes. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching my channel. I so appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.